All right, everybody, it's time for another Kidz Bop album here on Yahtzee Beat the Runtime, the series where we take songs and albums and try to beat the lengths of them in Yahtzee points. Yes, we're still doing that, and we will continue doing this for the foreseeable future. Today, we have Kidz Bop 8. Just to be clear, this is not our 8th edition of Kidz Bop that we've done, because we've also done some of the side albums, but nevertheless, we're continuing to go through these as quickly and as efficiently as we can. But I'll be honest, I wasn't really keen on doing all these Kidz Bop albums at first, and then once we started doing them, I'm like, okay, they're okay. It's different. But now I'm starting to realize that I actually really like them because I get to talk about songs from yesteryear, and it makes me feel young again. So hopefully it's bringing something to the table for you as well. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to start here with Since You've Been Gone, which is a Kelly Clarkson track. Kelly Clarkson, famous for many things. American Idol, her music, career that came off of the heels of that. Her talk show. She's on America's Got Talent or one of those other crazy shows. Just a very well-known, famous. Seems like I think I mentioned before, seems pretty likable. I don't think she's Canadian like a lot of artists that we've seen on these Kidz Bop albums, but I honestly don't know. Hey, maybe she is. Don't know. As far as today's challenges here, this is a nice setup. I think getting 8 Yahtzees is going to be pretty tough. I don't feel like the Yahtzees are going to be there today, but let's hope that they are. I think we can easily, maybe not easily, but I think we can handily beat the album runtime as a whole. It's the individual track runtimes which always give us trouble. And let's move on to I Don't Want to Be by Gavin DeGraw. I remember that name. I don't remember this song. And I don't remember who, I remember the, other than the name, I don't know anything about Gavin DeGraw. I just know that he just invoked a all 5s Yahtzee for us, which we'll gladly take. It feels like those Yahtzees always come when I'm not in a good space to be really enthusiastic because I'm in the middle of telling an anecdote. That's a me problem. All right, let's see what we can do here with the rest of the setup. We only need 215 here to beat this track. See if we can get it. We're a little behind the left. There's some 6s for a 4 of a kind. We do need 4s and 5s still. Go for 5s. We don't get them. We did beat the song, though. That's good. Not going to get the bonus. Almost had it. Let's see if we can go for another Yahtzee. Nope. 271. Sounds good to me as we move on to Obsession, which is Frankie J versus Baby Bash. Okay. I think we're really kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for Kidz Bop 8 here because this is 2 out of 3 that I couldn't even tell you what the song is. I mean, Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson, that's a massive hit. I think everyone knows that. We're lying to ourselves if we don't. But some of these other ones, I'm drawing a blank. And I consider myself pretty well versed on music, especially from this era because, I lived through it. Sure, it's a great track. Obviously, it was good enough to cover on this album, so getting a lot of 3s here, but not able to really do a ton with. We need 225 here, which is going to be tough to get without this bonus. So, or Yahtzee. I think we got to go for the Yahtzee here. Fortunately, oh man. Yeah, we're not. We've already lost our perfect score attempt. Well, at least we got that out of the way. 200, though, still pretty good. Boulevard of Broken Dreams up next, a great Green Day album. great Green Day song. It's from American Idiot, which kind of like American Idiot is looked back on very fondly now as like it's one of the true rare stories in rock music where a band has a second completely separate wave of popularity from their first. You think of bands like Aerosmith did that. I think U2 did that. Ironically, U2 and Green Day would go on to collaborate on a song a few years later. But there's not too many bands that have that full second wave of popularity. I think The Offspring was one. But Green Day certainly was on, their prime had passed. I've told this story many times, maybe not on here. Actually, I think I did at one point, but when Blink 182 came around, there was a point in time where Green Day was opening for Blink 182. Okay, now do the math there, because Green Day's the far more successful, established, and band that's been around longer. That would be unheard of today. Although I don't know. I mean, Blink 182 is a comparable level of success, but it was just strange to say, oh, they're going to open, or Green Day's going to open. I gotta focus a little bit because I'm starting to. It's starting to happen where I'm starting to lose focus, and that's not good for our Yahtzee count. We're not going to get the bonus, so let's just try to do the best we can. Anyway, second wave of popularity, yeah, American Idiot was that for them, and it was a phenomenal album. I remember not being super excited about it when it came out. I was like, that was kind of over Green Day, but they won me back, and they won a lot of people and some new fans. This is Caught Up by Usher, who is, man, Usher's been around forever, but he's still like relatively young because he started out so young. And just, decades of success, regardless of what you think of him. And whatever controversies may follow him, which I'm sure there's some. There's a Yahtzee of all twos. And now we got fours coming in. We'll take the chance here. Threes. Okay. Guess we got to take the one. Really struggling getting the numbers to come up when I want them to, it seems like. This might be our only chance for a four of a kind. Take it. We're sitting at 254. We need fives. We'll take a couple fives. There we go. Now we move on to Rich Girl, track 6. This is Gwen Stefani. This is an earworm song. I remember when this came out, and solo Gwen Stefani. I don't think she has like a lot of content, but the stuff she has that's been successful has been really successful. And obviously, No Doubt was kind of the same way. They kind of remind me of like the Police, and not their music style, but just they came out, they did a few albums that were all pretty well received, and then they really didn't do much else. And then lead singer had a successful, though sporadic, solo career. That being Gwen Stefani. I know that they are or were going to be doing a Sphere residency. No Doubt was. All right, what the hell is going on? Oh, I just zeroed out large straight too. And it's definitely hard to narrate and do good Yahtzee scores the way I play. That seems like a poor excuse for how bad I'm doing. All right, let's dial it in here. Move on to, this is Let Me Love You. This is Mario. Forgot that there was a singer named Mario. It's a Me, Mario. Look at all these sixes coming across, though. That's nice in some ways. Take the full house there. Probably shouldn't have, though. 4 sixes. This is another track that I don't remember, by the way, so that's why I'm not really talking about it. I'm just like, oh, the guy's named Mario. Interesting. We might actually get the bonus here, guys. Oh, hold on. Go for Yahtzee. Wow. Clutch. Cinema right there, baby. Go for twos for bonus. I will give one good attempt here at the large straight and not get it. So we'll just go for another Yahtzee to. Why not? 284. We'll take that. We'll move on to Vertigo. This is probably U2's last, I would say, huge song. At least like their last, like, I'm talking like huge song, because they had that partnership with Apple. I mean, look, let's be honest. And I don't think this is a hot take or anything, but if 9/11 doesn't happen, I don't think that second wave of popularity that U2 had was as bright or as long. You got to remember, so U2 they were big in the 80s, like especially the late 80s and early 90s. They had a string of successful albums, like pretty much like boom, boom, boom. And then they kind of started experimenting a little bit. A lot of people will point to, what is it, Zooropa and Pop. Pop was really the one where people were like, okay, what are we doing? And even the band themselves was like, yeah, we got to get back to putting out good music. I think they made the comment when when Beautiful Day came out, that album, I think they said we're reapplying to be the biggest band in the world or something like that. We didn't beat the song. But the Beautiful Day album was all I think the album called Beautiful Day? Was that the 2001 album, or was that All That You Can't Leave Behind was the name of the albums. That was the album that was like, they were playing Walk On and Beautiful Day and these montages about, the rescue and recovery missions for 9/11. It just got so much publicity. And they were like real big, like, because they're not American, they're big American champions at that point. I mean, you can really, that Walk On kind of became the anthem of, post 9/11 recovery, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, let's go. We're on 1-2 step right now, which is Sierra and Missy Elliott. Sierra, of course, now probably most people know her from a couple things. The repeated New Year's Eve appearances, sometimes alongside her husband, the once fantastic Russell Wilson, the now somewhat struggling to find himself, I think, on his few recent stints. I'm sure he's a nice guy, though. And we've got pretty big score here. 268. 76 on the left side is pretty huge. 271 with no Yahtzee is a pretty big score. And if you're keeping track, 1-2 step just got us a 271 with no Yahtzee, which is tied for sixth best all time on a Yahtzee-less game in this YouTube series. All right, side B time. Going to Rob Thomas's Lonely No More. I much preferred his solo song that he did with Carlos Santana. I think that was before Rob Thomas had a true solo career for Matchbox 20. One of my friends was like, went to college with like one of the band members of Matchbox 20. Knows him somehow. I guess I'll take a 0 there. We need fives, buddy. We just need fives. All right, 201. It's gonna fly. Over and Over, Nelly featuring Tim McGraw. Okay, so this track was, from what I remember, not like super huge. I mean, certainly at the time, like if it was on the radio, you heard it, you probably remember it. But I mean, let's really put this into perspective. How often was this kind of collaboration happening in the early 2000s? How often were we seeing rap and country mixed? And you remember what a controversy that caused a few years ago with Old Town Road, because that song was blowing up the charts. It was real big on the country charts, and then I think Billboard like reclassified it. It was very silly what they did. I mean, I thought that was stupid, but regardless, you didn't see this type of collaboration happening very often at this time, and really, I don't think you still don't. Now, when I say Nelly as a rapper, a hip hop artist is probably more appropriate, but he's unique in the sense that he doesn't really rap. He sings in a rapping cadence, and a lot of times, which I think makes him very unique. A lot of people will point to the fact that he wore Band-Aids on his face for a long time during the country grammar era, but I don't know if he still does that or not. But hey, Nelly had some good stuff. I used to bump to it. Okay, let's go on to Nobody's Home, Mrs. Avril Lavigne. Here we go. Now we got some Canadian representation for sure. We might have already had some somewhere in here, but I haven't been seeking it out as much. The lack of Yahtzees is starting to become a concern. I figured by sure we'd be a lot closer to our target of 8. There's a nice large straight. But we've had some games that I've just played like ass, so that probably also has something to do with it. We are starting to turn the corner a little bit, though, so that's good. Nice 5s there. Got some 2s. I guess I'll go for the 2s to try and force like a 4 of a kind. You still need 3s. I'll take a chance because we're going to need more than that. Okay. The bonus is pretty much gone now. Unless we get 4 3s, and I don't see that happening. Oh, there's a Yahtzee, though. That's big. That's a big one. Go for 3s. We got 3 of them. And I don't remember that song. We got Incomplete by the Backstreet Boys. Remember that they did a song called Incomplete. Was that off of Black and Blue? That was like the album that was kind of their last like big album, and I wouldn't even say it was that big. It was not as big as more. The wife actually bought me a couple mini vinyls, and hold on, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get this vinyl. Hang on. Yeah, she got me this tiny vinyl of Millennium Backstreet Boys. It has 2 songs on it. It has I Want It That Way and Larger Than Life, and it actually has like it opens up. There's a little sleeve. I think you can get these at Target. And then there's a little vinyl, and it'll actually play. Now, she got me a couple other ones too, like a Britney Spears one. This one did not sound good. Like it sounded like the record player was dying when I played it. I think that this one might be defective, or it just might be whatever material they made it out of. The other ones played fine, but maybe you'll have better luck if you buy that particular one. But they do make these like mini vinyls now. These tiny vinyl. Is it called tiny vinyl? I think. It's called Tiny Vinyl. It doesn't feel like it's actually vinyl. That's the thing. So if you have a high-end record player, maybe you want to do some research before you throw one of those on it. Shit. 2s. I guess we'll go for a 4 of a kind here, guys. Oh. I'll go for a full house here. Hope I get it. Oh my God. It might be time to zero out the Yahtzee on this particular game. Probably should have just taken the full house there. We don't need any more large straights, that's for sure. Full House saved us a little bit. Let's see if we can get a 4 of a kind. We do. Wow, 213. We didn't beat the track, but that was nice. We got 5 tracks left. We need to average about 200 points a game to get this or beat the album runtime. So we have not won yet. There's still work to be done. This is One Thing by Amory. I could not tell you anything about this tracker artist. I've literally never heard of this. So if there's like big fans out there that I'm offending, I'm sorry, but I don't know what this is. And obviously, if I heard it at some point, it wasn't impactful enough for me to remember by its title or its artist name. Let's go here. Some 2s. A lot of 1s, which, we get the 3 of a kind, we get the 4 of a kind, but can't help but feel that we left a little bit on the table there. I'm going to keep... I'm going to go ahead and close off Yahtzee. It's time. Because I'm going to focus on this bonus instead. I really want to beat this album runtime because we've had a couple close calls recently. So even if we can't beat every individual track, I want to put a good score. 187 was not good enough, but we still have a decent chance. We move on to True by Ryan Cabrera. Again, this is a remember the name, don't remember much else situation. Okay, there's some 2s. It's coming in. Full House. This looks like a competent game I'm playing right now. Oh. Thought we were going to get lucky with the yacht there. And obviously, I haven't said this in a while, but if you have suggestions on albums that you want to see done on here, particularly after we burn ourselves out of all these Kidz Bop ones, feel free to leave those suggestions in the comments, and I will try to incorporate them as best as I can. There's the bonus for us. That's a pretty big deal. Puts us up to 262. We'll fish for a Yahtzee here. Take it. 3 games left. Now we're feeling a lot better. This has let me go by 3 doors down. Seen them live many times. Really sad, about what happened to their lead singer. I know the band had kind of fallen out of popularity and had some controversies based on, I think, their political affiliations, but it's still sad, that someone who was obviously very talented. I think he was even the original drummer for the band, as well as their lead singer, Brad Arnold. It sucks to see, someone pass away from such a vicious disease, and so young as well. I'm really in his, I think, 40s, which he's not far away from. So there you go. That was my moment of silence for Brad Arnold right there. No bonus. There's 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. See if we can get some 6s for the 3 of a kind. Nice. Full House and large straight. We'll go for the straight first. Get a 4. Okay, let's go for the Full House here. Need a 4 or 3. Get it. Really making us earn this album runtime. We need a little under 400 points. So if we just have 2 not awful games, we'll be okay. This is Alicia Keys' Karma. I don't remember this one. I obviously I know Taylor Swift's Karma, but that came much, much later. Okay, let's get something going on here, guys. Come on. There's some pretty tricky draws to work through. There's a Yahtzee. We need 1 more to beat that quota. 50-50 whether we get it. I should probably go for 4s. Full house, though. 5s, nice. No bonus. Small straight. That looks good. Let's go for another 6 over here. Take the 4 instead. Now we'll try to... That's 215. I'm going to go for a 4 here. Oh, huge. All right, last track. And we only need 120 points, so I think we'll be okay here. This is Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand, which I do know this song pretty well. I always found this track super interesting that it was as big as it was, just because it has a very unorthodox structure. It starts out with a really long, not like musical intro, but basically like the first part of the song is completely different than the rest of the song. And that first part of the song is like a slow build up that lasts for like a good minute. So it's just interesting. It almost sounds like it could be 2 completely different tracks. If you listen to it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it basically gets into like a second part of the track. And also the cadence of that song shares some similarities with some other tracks. Like years later, I mentioned this track a couple episodes ago. Finger 11 came out with the song Paralyzer, which uses that same kind of beat. And actually, when they play Paralyzer live, sometimes they'll, as like a cheeky nod to the similarity, they will play a little bit of Take Me Out. And they will also play a little bit of Trampled Underfoot by Led Zeppelin, because that also has the same kind of rhythmic cadence. Listen to all 3 songs and you'll know what I'm talking about. They're all very similar. Anyway, that was Kidz Bop 8. We got a rating of 80.83 for beating the album Runtime. We got 7 of our 8 Yahtzees. A little bit disappointing. And we only beat 8 track runtimes, which that's definitely disappointing. So, okay, we'll see you next time with another album. It won't be a Kidz Bop one, but it'll be something. We'll see you then.